Chris Lovell here with another edition of Pirate Talk. My guest at this time, Mr. Chip Darden, the head coach of the Pirates, and Colton Coombs taking care of us. As always, thank you to Gene Messer Ford Lincoln for sponsoring these shows. Grind of a game last week, and it wasn't lost on me that you kind of got exactly what you wanted in that you got the ball to start the second half.
Yep.
You also scored first. It kind of, in a limited possession game, kind of comes down to like, okay, how's this thing going to play out? And it pretty much played out. Last team with the ball, like you're only going to get so many possessions, but they fell at the right time for you. But just kind of take me through it.
Yeah, kind of opposite of when we had played them at home 3 years ago and they beat us for district championship. I thought our guys, the biggest thing, this doesn't really answer anything that you just said, but the biggest thing that we were so happy with is I just thought we played extremely hard the entire game. And ultimately, I think that kind of won us the game, how hard we played. And there were things that we've got to do a lot better. You know, we have a goal board team. It's got some team goals, some offense, defense, special teams goals. And I don't remember how many there are total, like 16 maybe. And we got 4 of them. So typically that is going to be a loss. And so that told our guys, we haven't played our best game yet. And that wasn't our best game, but we played extremely hard, and we just kept battling, and I thought that's what made me so proud. That was an experienced Tascosa team. But you're spot on. You know, like when I think of offensively, we had multiple times that we could have got a 2-touchdown lead, moving it in the red zone, and then we stalled out. And sometimes that's bad play calling, bad design by me. Sometimes just some misexecution, but we've got to be better there. We got to put teams away and get a 2-score lead. But I also think, as you mentioned, if I think of 2 just huge drives in a game like that, it's our first drive after the defense gets a stop, getting up 7-0, and then it's coming out of half in a 14-14 game and taking it down and scoring. Those 2 drives they really change how the game is played. They change a little bit how it's played on the other sideline. So those were huge. And then defense, a couple stops down inside the red zone as well that is hard to do against Tascosa. And we'll talk about one of those here in a little bit. But just overall, the big time plays when we need them, I thought our guys did well.
Yeah, if I tell you last week when we were talking, about this game, that the points that would ultimately win the game would be the first drive of the second half, you probably wouldn't believe me.
Yeah,
and the last point scored in the game at that point, and you miss an extra point.
Yep.
And you're thinking, but it was enough. And we'll get to the how and the why and all that stuff. I think I'm allowed to compliment you on these airwaves, but I thought from watching this game, your play calling was exceptional. I thought you had them off balance, and like you were. It was just a perfect mix of like, okay, I mean, and it just run and pass and like where they were going and all those things. Did you feel like you were in a good rhythm? Did you feel this way? Like, because some days I think you probably go, man, I needed to call a better game. Did you feel like, I called a good game here or no?
Yeah, at times I think in the red zone did not. And some of that is like when you get to Friday night and there are play calls that, maybe take a little more courage or, calling a certain play in a situation. One, I'll tell you, having the quarterback that we got makes a lot of those a lot easier because you just trust he's going to make the right decision. But I think our game plan and our preparation in advance makes it a lot easier. Like you just know in these situations, this is what we're going to. I think our offensive staff has done a great job of that. So, but yeah, I mean, you do. There is a rhythm to it, and there is I always laugh about the 2 easiest times to call plays are when you got a big lead or when you're getting beat by 50. It's like, hey, it doesn't matter here. You have to roll the dice. But it was a good rhythm, I felt like. Our guys were in good rhythm. We've got to be better in the red zone. That's one area that I thought we maybe weren't as great. And so I think our plan this week is better. So hopefully we can get in the red zone and execute that a little bit better.
Okay, as it relates to play calling and like just the plays, were you surprised? Okay, Kade has a big day.
Yep,
big day. You guys went to him a lot, and I think he ends up with let me make sure here. Yeah, 10 for 144 in a touchdown. Were you surprised that they kind of played man coverage mostly with him, and they didn't really adjust because you were intentional. Like they kept giving you this, and you kept taking it. He made plays too, but it was kind of pitch and catch with a good quarterback and a good receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. I mean, I do think that. I don't think they we're going to change their scheme, and kind of that's what they're about. And so, but that's what we hope we get to, that we can execute at such a high level that we're going to take what they give us. And there may be times that they're taking Kade away, and we feel good about our other guys too. And so that just happened to be the other night that they were really focused. We were really focused on getting him the ball and had some good one-on-one matchups. But you're right, like Kade won those one-on-ones against good defensive backs, and then Ryan, I thought, got rid of the ball on time and put it where it needed to be. So we hope, with our design, we hope to be built to where we're going to put 4 to 5, if you count the running back, receiving threats out there every play. We're going to have an offensive line and tight ends that are capable of us moving the ball, running it. We've got the option. We just hope to put a defense in a bind where they've got to figure out what do we want to stop, and we've got an answer. That's what we hope, and I think we're getting closer to that each week. But overall, just it was a fun game.
Yeah, when I hear you talk about it, sometimes it's always fascinating, the lingo, because it's like you pickle them, you put them in a pickle, or you put them in conflict.
Yeah,
you put somebody, you've got to make a decision, which it's fat, and that's all football is really.
Yeah.
And you have the good enough players that can put guys in conflict, and
I'll tell you another, and if you maybe we're going to ask me about this, but. Another group, the offense, and I know we talked about them last week, but the offensive line, the Tascosa defensive line is incredible. I mean, they've got defensive tackle that's committed to Texas Tech. He is a 3-year starter, and I don't know what they list him at, but he is a massive human. And then they got a defensive end next to him that on film, he looked good, but we walked out in warm-ups and I went, holy cow, he is a large human too. But our offensive line just battled all night. And you look at our yards per carry, our goal's usually 4.5 yards. It was under that. It was the high 3s. But I thought we were very productive in the run game. And just, man, they battled and competed their tails off.
Yeah, and we did try to highlight those guys last week. And you've had Hatton and Bleish and Duncan and on and on. And you play this game without Deuce.
Yeah.
Shemaine Johnson doesn't play. It was just a tweak in the game before that. But Jathan Caraway, I thought, ran really hard.
He did.
And I'm not familiar with your game, sir, but now I am. And I thought Jathan, I love his name. We've talked about his name. Yeah. I think it's the coolest name. But, man, he runs hard.
Yeah.
And it epitomized the grind of the night.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He was just smart with the football. Like, when he could bounce and get an extra 5 yards, he did. But when he needed to just duck his shoulders and go, hey, 1 more yards is all we need, and that's all I can get, he did it and took care of the football. We really challenged him in the scrimmages to lower his pads and finish falling forward. And he's done a great job of that. And we're hesitant to give guys this early in the year too many carries. He had 24 or 25, I believe. And that's just
for 94 yards.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it was just a good game, and
but at some point,
handling that.
What choice did you have?
Yeah, that's right. And we had other guys that were suited up that we could have gone with, but Jathan was just playing so well. Coach Rhodes kept rolling with him, and I'm just proud of him. And he deserves credit. He deserves accolades because Sucker was playing hard, and he's a big part of this football team.
Another guy, and I spent a lot of time with him the morning of this particular game, was Wyatt Hare.
Yep.
He scores a touchdown up the sideline, the visitor sideline, on the south end of the field. And I spent a lot of time with him that morning. Wonderful kid. I mean, really former quarterback in the old system and all that. But I know what you feel about the tight end position is they are this unique mix of we're going to ask this player maybe to do or this position group to do maybe more than anybody else.
Yep.
And that still holds true. Take me through him and just this year's version of your tight end group.
Yeah.
Because you lost some good ones last year.
We did. And our tight end spot is I'd say quarterback is a little bit harder just on knowing everything, but tight end's not far behind. They have to know every run scheme. They have to know how to pass pro. They have to know every passing concept. And what I like about, we've got Wyatt and Travis Esparza playing the majority of the reps right now. Carter Harris, Radley Rose also get in there with that group. But what I like about them right now is we don't have to personnel. Like if we want Wyatt or Travis to be, a flex slot receiver, they're good at it, and I think you've seen that. Wyatt had a great catch the other night on a big down. It was like 2nd and 20, and had several big catches. And Travis had against Lovejoy a big reception game. But then if we need them to play attached tight end, hand down, and block down, they can do it. If they need to play fullback or kind of a Y off, they can do it. And I don't know. There's been years where we had to sub each one of those, and so defenses know, okay, this guy comes in, it's going to be a Y offset. So now they can adjust and match personnel. And with these guys, we can do it all with the same personnel. And I think that's difficult to prepare for. But those guys have just they're doing. I think the biggest thing for me, and they're doing a great job on the football field. But they're good people, and they're fun to be around. And Coach Gafford is coaching those guys and done a great job with them.
Yeah, because the tight end, it's like, hey, be big, but be fast.
Yeah, with good hands.
Be fast, but we need you to be big and physical. Yeah. It's like, okay,
like,
Coach, which is it? Well, all of it.
Yeah.
That's the unique thing about a tight end. It needs you to block, but also needs you to go catch balls down the field and all that stuff. Okay, we talked a lot of offense there. Defensively, let's talk some D-line here. We talked about the offensive line individually last week, but defensive line-wise, okay, and he said it differently. He didn't mind that we had been saying it wrong all these years.
4 years.
I know. Okay, we've said Sione Vea, and he's answered to it and all that, but he says it.
Via.
Okay, Via. So
that's news to me.
And he's like,
Papa.
Man,
we call him Papa. That's news to me,
big
Papa.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of like Deuce was a thing, and then Shemaine, but we want to get it right. So Sione Via, been a 4-year player on the varsity team. This is rare air for him. Phenomenal player, great hands, all those things. Patrick Garcia, again, somebody that I think we'll talk about here in a second when we look at some of the plays that you're going to break down. This is also a player that has done a lot of good things, kind of under the radar, but just shows up every single Friday.
Yep. And he, those guys, Sione just has been so solid for, coaches. When I talk to coaches on Saturday morning, the team we're going to play the next week, well, we always talk and kind of go over logistics and things. And every one of them so far this year, I can't believe he's still there. 51's still there. He's been there forever because he just has played so much varsity football. And then Pat was a JV kid as a sophomore that, if we're being honest, we didn't know how physical he was. He was kind of playing tight end and kind of, a little bit of linebacker. And once he's gone to defensive end, he's one of our most physical players, and just he's having a heck of a start to his senior year. But and then Jackson Turnbow, those are 3 seniors.
I was going to get to him because, you said one of the things about Jackson is like a lot of what he does doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it's like he's like the basketball equivalent is he's the rebounder,
right.
He's the diving on the floor, getting the floor burn guy, and everybody else maybe gets some of the credit, but he's the one that allows all that to happen. But and
he's also,
say a whole lot.
I was gonna say, he's also kind of the steady presence.
Yes.
Like you know what you're gonna get out of him. He's very steady, and him, that's the thing about him and Pat. They're both playing on the edge right now. They can both play interior if they need to as well. They kind of both have their careers, and so able to do that. And then another senior, and I'm maybe stealing your thunder, but Case Romero.
Yes.
And Case, we kind of have toyed with him playing a little bit of linebacker. He played that in the first game, and moving him around a little bit. I think I said that earlier in the year. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. He can do a lot for us. And so think about Case too, that sucker plays hard. And that sucker practices hard. There's one speed for Case, and then rounding out that group is Deshaun Davis, who's a sophomore, and I'm going to talk about him as well here in a second. But sophomore playing against Tascosa, against that defense, against that offense on the D line is tough to do. And there were times that he got pulled the other night, and Coach Lynch is having to talk to him about his assignment. And I think at times he was frustrated, but I think at the end of the day he realized I just went against a really good offense and made some plays and had an impact on the game.
Yeah, and before we get out of here, Case and Turnbow's biggest problems is their dad. I mean, in both cases.
I'm out on that.
Yeah.
I'm out on that talk.
I'm kidding.
I love both of you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Chad and Kevin, they're good people. Yeah. So and you've got So Jackson has got a younger brother named Dylan on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan's also phenomenal human. Any other brothers, or is that the only set of brothers on your team this year?
That's the only set.
Yeah, it's the only set. Okay,
Yep.
it's always a fascinating deal when you've got brothers out there. It makes it easy on the parents.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like we just show up and everybody's
Absolutely.
here. Yeah, that's right. And again, Mrs. Turnbow, sweetest lady you'll ever meet. Dad, it's questionable. Love you, Chad. Love you, Chad. Okay, and then I want to make sure we mention this too. Tackle leaders last week. Blake Moore had 11 and Cale Kirk had 5. Those are unofficial stats. This is just kind of what I was able to put together. And
I think Cale had more than that. I think Cale had
this is
10 or 11.
See, okay.
Well. Yep.
And I that's why I wanted to say unofficial, because we only had half of yours, Cale. So don't shoot the messenger here.
Blake was the defensive MVP. Cale played extremely hard. Cale kind of switched positions the last couple of weeks and is playing in a different role, and he's excelled. He's our leading tackler on the year right now. And
he is everywhere.
He is.
I mean, he is everywhere. And I mean, I know that when you're talking about running back and stuff, it's like that's not being ruled out that he would not take some carries back there either.
Oh, yeah. He's going to. We're just non-district is a different time.
And,
Yep.
Yeah. But, Cale Kirk is everywhere. So it is fun to watch. But, yeah, if you could clone him, I think you probably would.
Absolutely.
And yet he's still – I'm giving you all I'm God, Captain. He's trying to do everything. Okay, so let's maybe next week that's what we'll do. We'll go through the linebackers. Would be a good position group to kind of, because there's some hybrid kids in there that kind of mix in, like, are they defensive end or linebacker or are they safety, whatever. But I want to get to that group, so maybe we can do that next week. Let's Colton. Let's get to the plays here, and we've got. This is your defense, so I'll just let you.
This is a huge part of the game. This is in the fourth quarter. So they had gotten it. They're now on the 13-yard line, but they had gotten it first down and 10 at the 11.
And here's Papa.
Yep. And so we're playing a little 5-man front.
Okay.
Just again for the option, kind of got to play some different things, and we have this in our base system. But with Tascosa. Usually when they get here, they score. They're just so good. They're so efficient at what they do. Yeah. And so we're now 2nd and 12. We had a loss on first down, which was a big play too. But then I thought this was one of the plays of the game. You can go ahead and roll it a little bit. And we're going to watch Deshaun Davis, the sophomore right here. So his job, if you go back, his job in this particular play was he is inside of that tackle, and he does a good job of that. And he's tackling the dive man. And so he realizes, he goes to tackle the dive man. He realizes quarterback has pulled it. And now he
has tackled the dive man.
That's his job. He's done his job. We've got other guys for the next two. But he realizes he doesn't have it. Now he lets go, and he's athletic enough to now run down and get a big TFL. Pat Garcia's in on it. You can see from the backside, Jack Sipowicz gets in on it. But now they end up with a 3rd and long. This offense is not built for a 3rd and long situation. So just thought this was a huge momentum play in the game. I liked where we were at, even if he doesn't make that play. We've got guys ready to take the quarterback and take the pitch. But a huge play by Deshaun right there.
And that's a sophomore.
Yeah,
that's big boy football right there.
It is.
And then playing your assignment. Okay, the next one is, I think this is a running back that we just talked about in Jathan Caraway.
It is. And so the situation in the game here is this fourth quarter. There were times we got in the red zone that we didn't score, that we didn't go up by 2 touchdowns that I already mentioned, and that's frustrating sometimes. This is about as satisfying as it gets if you're an offensive player, if you're an offensive coach. We got the ball back with 4.5 minutes-ish left in the game, and with a 6-point lead, and we finished the game with the ball. Like, that's exactly what you want out of 4-minute offense. You want to drive it down.
Can you run it when you want to?
Run it when you want to. We threw it efficiently on the drive, had a couple passes that were again, the quarterback and the guys he's throwing to, we just felt confident in. But so this play, we're big. We call it getting big. It'd be a 13 personnel, except we have an extra O lineman in the game. So we've got 2 tight ends, receiver, running back here, and we ran this play, I believe, 6 times in a row, a version of this play. And so there's just something satisfying about it. So I was just going to point out how in a situation where they might know what's coming, we get a good, and like if you can pause it if you want, Colton, right when the running back gets about to the line of scrimmage, right when Jathan, like that's a hole. Like, I'm not very athletic, but in that situation where it is under 2 minutes to go, we know they know we're running the ball, and we get that kind of a hole. That 5 yards is a very satisfying 5 yards to go finish. And we're just being physical, like receivers being physical and trying to, that's all we need out of everybody. Everybody's locked on people. And then look at the pile. I noticed this too when I was looking at the video. Look at our guys are just pushing we're going forward.
And there's some frustration right here as you watch, because we're still blocking and we don't like it, so we're going to get off me. But it's showing some frustration there.
100%. So we were able to, that was first down. That got us to 2nd and 5. Ran it 2 more times and got the first down, able to kneel it out. When you're able to do that, that's pretty fun.
No doubt. Milking it.
Yep.
Yeah, leaning on them a little bit. That's good. That's good stuff right there. So thank you, Colton, for doing that. Yeah, there's a couple of young men that we had just talked about, and those offensive linemen, and Jathan Carraway, and then Jashawn Davis with that big play up front. Okay, now we turn the page and we look at this week. Just any other normal game, Frenship, right? Before we get into that, how many years in a row have Frenship and Cooper played? I'm familiar with, like, what is it, like 8 or 9 in a row?
2014.
So we're about that's 10 or 11 years then.
Yeah, 2014. Okay. We scrimmaged them in 12 and 13, and then 2014 was the first year we played them.
How much longer will this game be played? I mean, at some point, maybe down the line, this is district game. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how all the movement is going to go. Frenship has done what the Cooper Independent School District has done, and they've opened up a second high school that has already opened up in Frenship Memorial, I guess. So the numbers are all changing in all these places, but like Frenship High School and Lubbock Cooper High School, like, is this long term? Is this, I don't know. What's your opinion?
We schedule 2 years out because realignment happens every 2 years, and so
home and homes with your
so when you start looking at it, that's really as far as you're going to get because of what you talked about. Who knows what district you're going to be in and all that. I'll say this: before they opened their high school, there was talk about not having it maybe down the road. I mean, at one point last year. Our numbers were, 1,700 kids in our high school. They were at 3,600 kids in the high school. There's a varsity level competition that matters, but then there's also sub-varsities when there's that many more kids. And so there was talk, but me and Coach Northcutt, we just both think that it's good for both communities. It's good for Lubbock, good for West Texas just to have this game. And so I think we'll try to have it no matter what, unless something drastic changed. I think we'll try to do it. I can tell you our schedules don't get confirmed until realignments in February. So schedule's really not confirmed until March, April, but we're penciled in to play them again next realignment, which would be for 2 more years. So that's really as far out as we go, but I think the plan is to keep playing.
Okay. And it's just a game that everybody sinks their teeth into here in town and all this stuff. This is you had them at home last year, crazy game. They get out to a big lead, you kind of battle back, and then they pull away, and it was just a lot of offensive football. So return trip, you're headed to Frenship on Friday night, and they're 1-2, and you're 2-1, but still. This is very meaningful. Yeah, meaningful game because they're coming off of a game where they just scored, I think, 61 points or something.
Yeah, the records. I mean, that's not the cliches. Yeah, the records out. But you got to look at who people are playing and what a 3-0 and 1-2, depending on who you're playing, looks a lot different. So they played a really good Byron Nelson 6A program that is good year in year out. And Frenship's got a new quarterback that's new to their school. So game 1, I think there's going to be, some a little learning on the speed of the game and all that. So, I don't. That's not a bad loss by any means. Byron Nelson is really talented and big. And then Wichita Falls Memorial, who we know all about, played a crazy game with them. They just had one of those crazy games. Wichita Falls Memorial scores late.
You'll see them in October the 24th, I think.
Yep.
Is right. Yeah.
Yeah. And they Frenship had a stop. They get a roughing the passer call. Frenship's about to kneel it out. Get a roughing the passer call. And I'm not saying good call, bad call, whatever, but they had the game won, and then Memorial goes and scores with like 10 seconds left, and ended up Frenship is doing the lateral thing down by 1 point, trying to get it down there, and Memorial scoops and scores it with no time on the clock. So it looks like they won by 8 or 9, but it was really a 1 point game. It was a crazy game. So yeah, I mean, and then to me, what I look at as a coach, okay, you're 0-2. What's the response look like? And you're 0-2 against two really good teams. One of them you almost won on their field, and then their response was to win 61-6 or whatever it was the other night. So they are plenty talented, and they're good. They're like they have been the last few years.
As always, yeah. Quade Ferris, the new quarterback, and he transferred in from Bushland. Is that right? Okay. Any differences with their offense? Is it still 4 wide, throw it all over the lot, like giddy up, let's run some tempo.
Yep.
Match up with us. Okay.
That's it. And, they got a receiver, the Campbell kid, that's one of the best in the state. I can't imagine many being much better. I think we got some that are good too, but, he gets a lot of pub and committed to Texas Tech, I believe. Mm-hmm. He's really good. And so they do put him at quarterback, and they run some Wildcat stuff with him. And, the thing about him, he played quarterback his whole life. So when he gets back there, it's not like, okay, we can just put everybody at the line of scrimmage and don't have to cover receivers. He can throw the ball. So that pretty dynamic. And I think Coach Northcutt and those guys have done a good job of that every year. Like they've got wrinkles each time we play them that are a little bit different, that just they challenge you. And the way they push the ball down the field puts you in a bind, because if you're going to take all that away, then the underneath stuff is there, and it's pick your poison. So I think our guys are ready for the challenge, though. Last year we didn't respond. We didn't come out and really fight early. I was really proud of how we finished the game. We came back, but we spotted them 28 points, and I can just tell you, Friday, if we spot them 28, probably going to be a similar result. I mean, you're not going to beat a good team when you get down by 4 scores.
And most people won't. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. And that's what's also fascinating about this game is there's things that have been held on to by maybe you guys and by them that, okay, let's do that in this game.
Yeah.
Like maybe Campbell Chase runs Wildcat QB or something they haven't shown. I don't know. Just you may have stuff that you've shown, but that's what's.
We've got a bunch. If Coach Northcutt's watching, we've got a bunch.
I've seen it.
Brand new stuff.
I've seen it. It's like a whole new offense, man. It's like you can't believe
brand
it.
New.
It's
Coach Romano. It's just for you.
We're gonna run the oop to oop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's a quarterback and 7 wide receivers. You can't believe it. Yeah. Okay, so that'll be fun. That's 7:00 at Frenship Friday night, and pregame coverage start at 6:30 on 100.7 The Score.
Traffic's always a mess, so you gotta show up a little bit early.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. It may not be this one, but I am curious, and it doesn't matter if you were head or assistant or just whatever, but your favorite away game opponent to play and why. And that doesn't have to be, maybe it's venue.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, like, is there somewhere other than your home venue or opponent that you like, I enjoy this, or this is...
Yeah, and it's changed now because the school's no longer there, but going to Wichita Falls Rider was always fun.
Okay.
One, just a big rivalry that was. But then that stadium's pretty historic, especially once they redid the turf. The turf was pretty bad there for a while, but once the turf was good, there's just something about that stadium that's fun. They've got the big ramp right there in the middle where you come down before the game and
like the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. So that was always one of my favorites. But I do like going to like Lowry Field. I think that's a fun venue to play at as well. But
they've done a really good job with all the renovations in Lowry
nice.
Field. It is very nice.
But I'd go with Ryder. It's now Memorial.
Yeah, and that's. I totally get that. And there was a special series and special games, all that stuff. I hate that when things that we grew up with or that we were used to are just no longer.
I know. And I talked to their coach about it a lot. It's just it's weird for them too.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
there's a lot. There was one last year when Texas Tech and ACU played here at Jones Stadium. I think we counted like 12 guys that played in the Ryder Lubbock Cooper game that were playing in that one. That's pretty cool.
Coulter Lynch and
Nehemiah and Isaiah
and Jacob Rodriguez and I mean it's just there's a whole bunch of them. Here's a weird question for you. What have you not seen from your team yet that you expected to see?
What have I not seen?
Yeah, what have you not seen yet from them in general that you maybe expected to see? I don't know. What would that?
Yeah, I would say there were concerns on my end of, and I don't know if this is what have I not seen, but I thought because of our depth, we've talked about that we need to develop depth. That was a big deal for us in the off season and then the start of this season. When we put guys in, whether it be for 2 plays, 3 plays, I thought we might see some significant drop off early in the year, and that there would have to be a development of guys. But I think the development has happened a lot faster, and I think guys that are stepping into roles. Again, whether it be a small role, whether it be a special teams role, we've had some sophomores really step up, and I just think we hadn't seen the drop off maybe that I wasn't hoping for, obviously, but I just anticipated the schedule that
it's
we're
natural.
playing and early on, and those guys have just matured really quickly.
If you had to give up coffee, where are you turning?
Oh man, I just can't do it.
No,
I don't think I can do it. I'm
no
out.
Coffee. What do you turn to?
Oh man, I like cold turkey quit sodas, and I'll still have one every now and then. But I did that several years back. Just
what do you do with the?
So I'd maybe go back to sodas.
What's the and what kind of soda? What flavor? Coke, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I'm gonna make people mad. Coca-Cola is better than Dr. Pepper. It just is.
I like them both. Factual. I like them both, but yeah, I would tilt your way too. My dad would disagree.
I know a lot of people that'll make mad, but it is better.
But what's the meal that you like? Okay, I have to have Coke with this. What triggers you? Is there something that like?
Yeah, not really.
So sometimes you just want a Coke over
ice?
ice?
Sometimes it's just, you're like, man, I just need a Coke right now.
Yeah.
There's not a meal, though.
Okay. There's no cuisine or anything that like, or a snack. It's like, okay.
But the overarching theme is I can't quit drinking coffee.
Yeah. But you're 1 or 2 cups in the morning, then you're done, right?
I don't drink it all day, but in the morning I'll drink 40 ounces or so.
Okay. So 4 cups. Yeah. That's okay. Wow. Okay. There we go. Good to know. Favorite kind of breakfast cereal?
I love breakfast cereal.
I know, and most of it is most of it is good for you. And when you're a kid, this is why, like, did you ever, when Miss Carolyn's pushing the shopping cart and you're riding on the bottom?
Yeah.
And that's why all the colorful cereals are on the bottom
right there
because they want to.
I'm gonna go at this point in my life probably honeycomb.
Honeycomb? That is embarrassing bland. Nothing with marshmallows in there?
No.
Nothing with some
I'm
color,
glad I didn't go with what was on my mind first. You'd have been really like honey bunches of oats, man.
I like that. Now that's more of an adult. That's more of an adult. Like that's legit.
As a kid, I did like Lucky Charms, but
who does
now? I'm just not. I'm not eating that now.
I'm an adult.
It's got red 40, right?
Yeah, I won't have Lucky Charms. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that Lucky Charms is like kind of a staple. Yeah. If you're just feeling really down and you need a pick me up, like a bowl full of Lucky Charms typically will probably make you feel even lousier.
Cannot believe you dog honeycomb that bad.
I totally did. I think this is a low tier cereal. Man. There's nothing special about it. It's like bigger versions of Cheerios with some
trash. We got this is unacceptable.
Okay, here's your one. We'll finish up with this. If you had to live in a different state, where would it be? Can't live in Texas anymore. Chip, hey, your family's got to move.
Yeah, I'm deciding
you don't-
between two in my head right now.
Okay, you can't.
Can I pick two? One or two?
No, and I need to know which
Wyoming.
state. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, get me out
Just
away from
far
everybody.
away.
Yep.
What was your other one? Montana.
Montana.
Okay, yeah. Same.
Those two.
And honestly, probably the same thing.
I've never been to either place.
Yeah,
but
I was in one of those this summer.
I would prefer that over
It is
a crowded state or anything.
Well, it's
like
not crowded.
Yep.
and you your problems are different. Like,
Yeah.
man, it's a long way to the grocery store.
Yep.
Or man, it's a long ways from everything. Or man, my cell phone doesn't
Give
work.
me that life.
Okay,
Give me that life
but
all day.
you're not worried about the hustle and bustle and
Yep.
traffic and stress and maybe a bison running over you or chasing after you.
Little
and all
fly
that stuff.
fishing, be all right.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Weather, you may need a coat.
It's all right. I like cold weather.
May need
I
a
like
coat. So, okay, man. We're eating honeycomb in Wyoming. This is what we're doing. I mean, yeah, it's all happening right here, and we're drinking 40 ounces of the Java.
It's a big gulp.
Hey, big gulps, huh? All right. I appreciate the time. That was good stuff, man. Yeah. Congrats on the win. Pirates are 2-1 after that win over Tascosa by 6 points in big game against Frenship Friday night. So that'll do it for this one. For Colton Coons, for Chip Darden, this is Chris Lovell. That's been another edition of Pirate Talk.